Yo, what is up, guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video on the channel. Today we're going to be breaking down and talking about all wildcard weekend matchups of this crazy NFL playoffs. Truthfully, what a wildcard weekend it was. I hope the playoffs can be just half as good as wildcard weekend was. There was really only two games I wasn't a huge fan of, and truthfully, you could be a fan of them all. All 6 games were pretty good and had things to stand out and talk about. So I'm just going to quickly break them down. I don't want this video to be too long, so we're just going to do kind of brief breakdowns. Hopefully do this kind of every week, talking about each playoff round, what that means for each team, and then kind of breaking down the losing team and how that's going to affect and what's next for them as well. So let's get right into it. Let's go for the first matchup, Rams versus Panthers. I think the big shock for everybody was how good the Panthers played. I think this was a game that, again, I probably think the Rams a little bit underestimated the Panthers. I think the Rams have played down to their opponents all year round as well. So when you add both these things together, I think this gave the result that a lot of people didn't expect, me myself included. I probably expected the Rams to beat the Panthers by 14 or so points. They ended up winning by 3, and I thought the Panthers truthfully probably choked this game away a little bit more than they would like to admit. Another one of these games for Bryce Young where it's just like, you look at CJ Stroud and it's like, Bryce Young could probably give this Houston team a good run to a playoff, Super Bowl. I'm not going to be crazy and say Bryce Young played amazing, but he played pretty good. And I think right now for the Panthers, I talked about a year or two away. I think they're probably closer than we really admit. I still think there's some pieces they need to figure out. I think Jalen Corker, Tedero McMillan is a great start for Bryce Young, having some receivers. I think Chuba Hubbard looked a lot better in that game, and clearly I think he's going to be the back moving forward for them. Defensively, J.C. Horn, Derek Brown, some other guys on that team. I think they're starting to build something there for the Panthers. I know this is a team that realistically went 8-10, right? I think they went 8-9 and won the division. So they went 8-10 in terms of all their games. So I think that's a difficult spot to look at and say, yeah, the season was a success. We almost beat the Rams, who are a really good team, but we went 8-10. They won the division. It's a good starting point for the Rams in a really weird division where it's like, maybe the Saints win it next year. I think the Bucs really underperformed. What did the Falcons look like? I have zero idea, and that stuff we'll talk about when it comes down that line. I don't want to go down a whole, crazy thing, but I think for the Panthers, it was a good step. You got some pieces in place, and it's just being able to play in a pretty shit division for right now and figuring out that, hey, we just took a team that I personally think the Rams can win the Super Bowl, and you took them to a game that you probably should have won. So at the end of the day, a lot of Panthers fans can be happy with their performance, and I'm sure some Panthers players as well. But work to be done regardless. On the Rams side, again, just a weird game defensively. The Rams just didn't play as well as I expect this Rams defense to do. I think they play down to their opponents. If you look at all their games, whether they're playing the worst teams in the league to the best teams in the league, it's like, man, this Rams team always keep it close. But I'm not worried about the Rams and their future based off this game. Again, if anything, you're like, oh, they can put up 34 points. Okay. That's the highest point total any team put up. I don't know, right? Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, Matt Stafford. I feel very confident in the Rams. They are my Super Bowl champions. If I have to, pick a team right now, I think they're just more complete on both sides of the ball. I think it's hard to stop Puka Nacua, and Devontae Adams looks good with Matt Stafford, with the running game, and Kyron Williams and Blake Corum, with Sean McVay. I think really it's going to be, when I look across the board at the remaining teams, whether it's the Texans, whether it's the Bears, whether it's the Patriots, whether it's Seattle and Denver, those teams, all of them have really good defenses. The only teams I wouldn't say have amazing defenses are probably the 49ers and the Bills. Out of the remaining, what would that be, 8 teams? I don't love their defenses, but truthfully, I think the Rams, I still feel very confident in the Rams. I don't have a whole lot more to say about that game personally. Really good game, probably the game of the weekend if I had to predict or personally say. I mean, I guess Packers-Bears was a really good classic, but if you just want like a consistent 4-quarter game, Rams and Panthers was really good. On to the next game. Let's talk about Packers-Bears on Saturday. Packers choked this one away, and I thought Jordan Love didn't play as bad as I maybe thought he was going to be. I personally didn't get to watch the first 2 quarters, so take this as you will. But I thought the Bears looked really good. I thought Caleb Williams did what Caleb Williams has done all season and just Superman moded in that fourth quarter. I was hearing some people talk, and they say, I think the Bears would be the best team in the NFL if they played as well as they did in the fourth quarter for 2 quarters, right? If they could have a good second and fourth quarter, or third and fourth quarter, or first and fourth quarter, and it wasn't 3 quarters that they're playing terrible and 1 quarter that they're playing good, I think that's going to be a problem for the Bears. They're going to run into an opponent at some point this playoffs. They may make a run to the bowl, but maybe it's the bowl where a team is just going to be able to have a good fourth quarter offensively, and they can't catch up. It's just going to inevitably happen. A team that is built on resilience and comeback, eventually, in my opinion, it just runs out. And I think for the Bears, you take this as a Packers game and you say, okay, we have to play better in the first half. We have to play better in the third quarter as well. But Colson Loveland, a really big game. I was really impressed by him. I was really impressed by that Caleb throw. I think that's one where you make a staple on a career and you say, yeah, I'm here. This is why I'm first overall. This is why I'm a Heisman winner. I really like Caleb Williams. I really liked Ben Johnson on the 2-point conversion play. I would pull it up, but truthfully, I'm not trying to get in trouble or anything by the NFL by using any clips, but he had a really, search it up, Bears 2-point conversion late in that game in the fourth quarter. To make it maybe a field goal game or whatever it was. I really like the design. He goes bundle or heavy package, and then he spreads all the receivers, the tight ends out wide. He gets a Colson Loveland one-on-one, and he throws to the pylon. I was absolutely in love with that play. If you guys aren't following me on Twitter, do so. But I tweeted out something like, I'm in love with Ben Johnson's play design there. I just thought it was why teams are trying to do just too much, and it's just simplified. Get the guy you want with the ball on a one-on-one with the coverage you want after giving you a heavy set, a bundle. What's the wording I'm trying to get? Bundle set? That's not what I'm trying to get. Some word in my head that I'm trying to get that is not popping up. But it's 5:40 in the morning, and I'm filming a video. Please be nice to me. But yeah, so I think it was a good game. I think, again, a little disappointing for the Packers. That's one that stings, especially when you've had the Bears number for a very long time. And I don't know. I like Jordan Love. I think he's in a tough spot. I thought coming into the game, if Jordan Love doesn't play good, there's conversations about Malik Willis. Not in the Packers, but fans and, the media and stuff talk about the difference. But I think he didn't play terrible. I don't think this is necessarily on him. I think a very similar thing. I thought Matthew Golden actually played pretty good down the stretch. But a very similar thing to last year about the Packers, where it's he just needs a receiver. They have 5 guys who are just very Khalil Shakur. And that's how I feel. But Bears move on, and I think they're a team that, truthfully, when I was predicting Bears versus Rams, I'm like, man, if I leading off momentum, I feel Bears have more momentum, but I think the Rams are just a better team, so I'm personally leaning Rams in that matchup. But next up, Bills-Jags. Again, didn't get to watch a whole lot of this game, which you're probably like, why are you talking about it? But I did watch, go back. Not live, is what I'm trying to say. But it's Josh Allen. Did not get the run game going as I hoped and I thought was going to be a big factor for the Bills, is getting James Cook going. They did not get the run game going at all last game, and I think it's something where it's okay, if the Jags stack the box, they're making Josh Allen make plays with the arm, with his legs. I think if they can get the run game going, though, the Bills are really scary. James Cook is really, really, really good. I think he's a top 5 back this year easily. I mean, there's a lot of good running backs in the NFL right now. We'll talk about a guy later in this video who is really freaking good. But yeah, I think Josh Allen is doing Josh Allen things, and I don't have a lot more to say. I thought their defense played okay. Onto the Jaguar side of things, I think Trevor Lawrence, it's not bad, again, for Liam Cohen and this first year of his transition into Jacksonville and his coaching. I don't think it was terrible, but I also don't think it was what they hoped. I did think this Jags team was very unlucky in the luck of the draw. Playing against the Bills, I think on a lot of different matchups, they probably would have tested their luck a little better against the Texans or definitely the Steelers or the Chargers. That's how it goes, though. You got to beat the best to be the best, and I just think this Jags team is just got a couple situations to think about. Parker Washington to Travis Hunter to Brian Thomas and Jacoby Myers. What do they do in the receiving game? It's very similar to the conversation they had last year about the running game with Travis Etienne, Tank Bigsby, and Bayshal Tootin. And figuring out what's the run game going to look like. So, three-way committee, that doesn't happen. And they end up doing stuff with Tank Bigsby, got a good pick out of it. I think Jaguars' defense is good, but just not their year this year. So, yeah. And the Bills will go to Denver, so we can quickly talk about that matchup. Again, I'm going with the quarterback. I'm going with the Bills. I'm going with Josh Allen. I think that is going to be another one of these games for Josh Allen. No Mahomes, no Lamar, no Burrow. Got to go out there and beat the best defense, and he's not got a lot of receivers to throw to, but he's got to find a way. 49ers versus Eagles. Thank gosh I do not have to watch another Eagles game this season. Rather put my eyes in bleach than watch this offense that has so much upside play like this. It is infuriating as a fan to watch a team that went to the Super Bowl or even watch Saquon just running up and down the field last year, and I feel like as the years have gone on with Jalen Hurts, the offense has just gotten more simple, it has gotten more boring, it has got less effective, and it's less good. Not to say that the Eagles' run to the Super Bowl is a fluke, because Super Bowl is a Super Bowl success, but I think that could have hurt the Eagles a little bit more than they would have liked. Like, you don't win the Super Bowl, you might get rid of their offense coordinator, whose name is not coming to mind, but I think things are going to shift in Philadelphia. I don't know if A.J. Brown comes back. Had a couple big drops in that game, and he's been talking a lot about the media. Get me the ball, I'm the best. Got to prove it when you're the best, and he just did not have a good game. Christian McCaffrey doing McCaffrey things. I thought Purdy played okay in this game. Trying to find him play to that Bears level that he played a couple nights ago on Monday night or Sunday Night Football. But he played well enough as a game manager in this game. George Kittle tearing his Achilles. It's a tough loss. I think the 49ers injuries have just added up all year round. They've somehow made it work. I just think at what point does it add up to them and they just can't keep going? I think that's where the next round comes in. But for the Eagles, lots got to change. Some conversations about Jalen Hurts have to be had. Nick Sirianni and all those things. On the 49ers side, good game for them. I thought this was a game to lose. Just watching the Eagles play, it did not look good all game long. And yeah, don't have a whole lot more to say. Chargers, Patriots, Justin Herbert. I thought about making a single video on Justin Herbert and his absolutely atrocious performance. I didn't, but there's real conversations to have with Justin Herbert, and I think a lot of it was he looked scared behind that O-line, and the O-line, I think this was the third most amount of time he had to throw the ball in his career. So the O-line did not play terrible against that game. I know they had a lot of pressures down and late in that game, but on average, he had third most in his career. He did not have a good game. There were multiple times where guys were wide open and he's just scared to take a shot. He did not look like Justin Herbert, and we've said it time and time again about Justin Herbert in the playoffs, where it's like, who is this quarterback? Why in the big game is he not there? And he doesn't have any help. How much more does Justin Herbert need before it's Justin Herbert who's not playing good? And I think that was atrociously bad. 3 points is inexcusable. I mean, when the Steelers can put up more points than you, like Aaron Rodgers, we'll get to that, but like this is bad. It's really bad. So for the Patriots, I didn't think they looked particularly well. I didn't think Drake May played particularly well. I think if that's your first playoff game, you're like, okay, I didn't play well, but I was able to get a win. We're still alive. You're going to take that, and hopefully he plays a little bit better. I think if Drake May plays that way the whole playoffs, they're not going to make it past the next game. But I still think this Chargers team has a lot to think about with John Harbaugh. They're going to lose their defense coordinator, who's really good. And I don't love the future for the Chargers. What that means with Herbert, I just don't know. He just looks so bad. So bad. If I'm a Chargers fan, I am having mixed opinions, right? You talk about he has no O-line. Joe Burrow took some of the worst O-line players to ever play in the NFL to the Super Bowl. Was a couple plays away from winning the Super Bowl. Was a bad flag on Cooper Kupp away from the Super Bowl, right? Do not let this Justin Herbert things that he gets every year. Defense choked on him. has no weapons, right? I respect Herbert for playing with the broken hand. I do. It looked like his throwing hand was broken in this game. Inexcusable. Texans, Steelers. Oh, I thought for a second the Texans were going to lose this game. I thought CJ Stroud has never played a worse game in his career. He just looked scared. He looked scared behind his O-line. He looked scared. And he looked terrible. A rookie year CJ Stroud is a lot farther than the current version of him is right now. And I think I said this in my short that I'm making, and I'll say this now. If CJ Stroud can play average or play decent, Texans have a chance to win it all. Right? This defense pretty much put up 30 points themselves. I think the run game and Woody Marks and Nick Chubb played really, really well. If they can continue that and, again, make the game easier for CJ Stroud. How long is Nico Collins going to be out? Yes, that's things to be worried about, but that defense, man, A-Rod just got pummeled all night long. Let's quickly talk about the Steelers. I think that's A-Rod's last game. I hate to see it go that way. I'm not a big A-Rod guy. But you could see the competitiveness in the first half when they had a chance, and then you can see he's not yelling anymore. He's not fired up anymore. He's getting bullied. Sent that man to the retirement home. What a career for him. I don't think he should come back, and if he does, I just don't I could have seen a reunion with the Steelers if Tomlin stayed another year. Tomlin's gone. He left before he got fired. I don't know what's next for the Steelers. I think it's going to be a different team next year. I think they're going to maybe go into a rebuild. Personally, I think that's what they should do. They're just a team of mediocre that's never going to win a playoff game. You trade Cam Hayward. You maybe look to trade TJ Watt. You get rid of DK. And you start to look for the future, and you start to build for next year's quarterback class, whether that's Arch Manning or whatever it is in terms of quarterback. But I think this Steelers era that we've known it is probably coming to an end. Thank gosh. Screw the Steelers. They played terrible. It was a bullying all night long. And I can't believe for a second that game was even close because CJ Stroud played so bad. They could have put up 60 points on them damn heads if CJ Stroud isn't trying to hit a deep ball when there's pressure in his face and not taking a damn sack. Okay? Yeah. Quickly on the divisional round, I talked about it in my shorts. Go watch those and TikToks as well. But I'll quickly break them down. I think I personally have the Bills over the Broncos. I think quarterbacks are just a little bit better. I think the Bills just have more playoff experience. And I think Bo Nix in comparison to Josh Allen's a big gap. And if the defensive Broncos don't absolutely shut down Josh Allen, I think I have to go with the Bills. 49ers, Seahawks, the injuries have just hurt the 49ers a little bit too much. Seahawks are just a very, very scary defense. And I think if Sam Darnold cannot see absolute ghosts and that offense can put up 20, 23 points, they'll be okay. Texans, Patriots. I'm going to go with the Texans. I think their defense is insanely scary, and CJ Stroud can't play as bad as he did last week. I think the Patriots I don't love what I saw from Drake May. I think Mike Vrabel is that guy, though. I could see the Patriots winning this game, but I am going to go with the Texans. Rams, Bears. I think the Rams are just a more complete team. They play down to their opponents, which means they're going to play up to this Bears team. If they don't let the Bears come back in this game and the Rams can come out to a big lead, just keep that offense going. I think the Rams can win this game. But truthfully, I think that each game can go any way. If I had to pick one game to be the most sure of, I'd pick the Seahawks over the 49ers. To be the less sure of, I'd pick the Patriots over the Texans. Those are the ones where I feel the most confident and the most scared. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.